died. And we'll celebrate Sue's life on Saturday at 11 o'clock. And then yesterday morning, Jan Reynolds, someone that we have known. And she joined the church a couple of years ago and just came in with such enthusiasm and joy about life. She'd been diagnosed with cancer 12 years ago, and she'd been in remission for a good long time. And then it came in. So, would you like to know what runs through a preacher's heart and mind? Sitting at a bedside with people that, well, we all know. And we all know. And I suspect, even as I say this, your mind runs to a similar experience. Well, my mind went three places. First, my mind went to the letter of the Hebrews, which is a letter in the New Testament, in which the writer talks about laying claim to a rich and a deep hope. Now, what we think we know about the letter of the Hebrews is that it was written to a group of Jewish Christians who were giving very serious consideration to rejecting the Christian faith and returning to the traditional Jewish beliefs of their families. Perhaps they were being pressured by family influences. Perhaps they were being pressured by some economics and the loss of job, as there was great political tumult in that period. And the writer of the letter of Hebrews makes a very strong argument to say that Christianity is superior to Judaism, and lays out all the steps for that, which in the context, when you're talking to a Christian who might be considering switching, it's a pretty reasonable argument. Probably not such a good argument to have with your neighbors, however, who happen to be of the Jewish faith, which is a perfectly wonderful expression of God's love and God's reign and God's way. But the writer of Hebrews says that in Jesus Christ, we have a hope that is strong, that is powerful, a hope that can sustain us. And reaching for that sustaining hope is what was running through my mind as I sat there by those bedsides in this past week. A hope. The other thing that ran through my mind was just the sorrow of it all. Someone that we love is in pain. And someone's life that means so much is coming toward its conclusion. And I think there's just something about us that is just so slow to accept that simply is the pattern and the cycle and the gift of life. God made us in such a way that we live for a time. That we begin and our lives come to a close. And most of the time we wish that weren't so. And there's some sorrow that runs through our hearts and our minds. The other thing that ran through my mind is there is a visible suffering. Each one is different, and I don't really feel I need to describe it for you this morning, and probably prefer if I don't. But when we see human suffering, I always think of the suffering of Jesus on the cross. Now, when Jesus suffers on the cross, I don't think it's God punishing Jesus for our sins, as much as it is God being willing to enter into the suffering of what it means to be human. That everything that you and I go through by way of agony and pain, God has taken on to God's side. That suffering isn't to be shunned, to be avoided, to be seen as failure or punishment or any type of vindictive behavior on God's part, but simply the truth. That to be human is to live through times of pain. And just as Jesus lived through it and rose again, so the suffering that you and I experience will not be the final experience of who we are. That when we consider the suffering of Jesus on the cross, we know that there is something beyond our worst moments. I vaguely remember reading a passage in Homer's Odyssey, and if there's a classicist here, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I think when Homer and his crew is making their way back from the Peloponnesian Wars, Odysseus. Homer wrote the book, right? Always good to have a classicist. They encounter angels on the way back home. And the angels notice that the human beings are crying. And the angels envy humanity their tears. For when you're a perfect ethereal being, you do not feel pain, but you do not feel joy. That there is a gift in sorrow. It reminds us that we love. The other thing that ran through my mind is just the immense amount of love that is so prevalent when a family circle gathers in such a way. There is this beauty in the attentiveness, quick with a tissue to wipe a tear, focusing on every breath. There's just something beautiful, even in the midst of all of that agony. Well, I told these things at the 8:30 service this morning around the tables in our little untraditional service. And one home told a story And I'm going to steal it and tell it to you on his behalf. I haven't told him I'm going to do this, so if he gets mad at me, you know why. But apparently, on the day that his father died, they went to the hospital, and while they were at the hospital and dealing with his father dying, his mother had a very serious heart attack. So as the time proceeded, Bob's mother said, I want to go to the funeral home and say goodbye to my husband. And so Bob said, but Mom, you're in the intensive care unit. And she said, I know that. Get me to that funeral home. Okay? So he goes to the administrator of the hospital and says, my mother wants to go to the funeral home to say goodbye to my father. To which the nursing staff responded, but she's in intensive care. To which Bob said, well, I know that. So the intensive care unit had to call the administrator down from the hospital, who came down and brought the hospital attorney with them and repeated the request. My mother wants to go to the funeral home to say goodbye to my father. And they responded, but she's in intensive care. And Bob said, I know that. So they signed all the papers. Bob's mom got in the wheelchair, was wheeled down to the funeral home to say goodbye. Then she was wheeled back to the hospital and she lived another 15 years. But that's the power. That's the beauty. That's what is so precious about being you and about being me and living our lives in connection with one to another. And those are the gifts that flow our way. Even in life's most agonizing moments. See, I was drawn to the letter of Hebrews because it says something else there. Now, faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things unseen. Let that rattle around you for a day. And let that hope sustain us. That there is something that is unseen. That means so much. And it is that unseen reality that we reach for when we worship, when we pray, when we work together in the life of the church. There is an unseen reality. You know, Jan died at a hospice house. The air conditioning was on. And after she died, they opened the window. Apparently, that's a fairly, right? That's a custom, I think. I don't know where it comes from. It's probably rather superstitious, but quite beautiful. It's a symbolic way of bearing witness to that which is unseen. That there is an essence to each one of us that does not end, that does not fade away, that does not vanish, even when the precious gift of a body that sustains us has done its part. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things unseen. Amen. Our prayer is unison. Pray with me. Light of the world, our cup overflows with gratitude for all that you have given us. Accept the tokens we have offered you today and use them for the healing of the world. Amen. I invite you to be seated. And now may the peace of God that passes all understanding keep our hearts and our minds in the knowledge and the love of God and of His Son, Jesus Christ. And may the blessing of the one who created us, who redeems us, and who sustains us be with you now and always. Amen.